All right, everybody. Hey, this will be warning to all politicians. I'm running for president 2024, part 114B, we'll call it. Just to follow up on some of those things about creating jobs and all this and everything, you know, and some more about Bernie Sanders. Uh, we already know the Democratic Party's for welfare and all that kind of stuff. So subsidies and supposedly, you got Antifa and all these people support the Democrats are supposed to be against fascism and all this kind of stuff and everything. Well, when Joe Biden's talking about creating jobs and he's going to invest and create jobs, and anytime there's subsidies, what are we talking about? It's corporate welfare, isn't it? It's corporate welfare. And when you have a corporate welfare system and the politicians and the corporations are steering how everything goes for their own benefits and blocking out competition and stuff and everything, there's your fascism right there. There's the building of your oligarchy. Do you understand that? You're against the corporations and you're against these corporations making big money and all this and everything, and you want to tax the hell out of them and everything. And Joe Biden's telling you he's going to give them money. Corporate welfare. Politicians talk out of both sides of their mouths. And they mask it pretty good, and you really got to think about things and, just ask yourself, what's really going on here? What's he really talking about? They'll throw out their slogan. You got to go deeper than the slogan. Well, what's he talking about? He's going to invest and create jobs. He's going to take your tax dollars and give it to his business associates who are going to do things like maybe appoint his son and give him a big fat salary or some shit like that. Set up these corporations. Some of them might even be like phony corporations. Just a shell corporation to move money. Hey, they're an advisory board. This and that to the wind turbine energy industry. They play all kinds of games like this. It's to enrich themselves, give them more power, and bullshit you. I'm of the opinion, less is more. If they keep their hands out of our pockets, we could be self-reliant. So much more self-reliant. And if you were, to teach that in the schools and in the inner cities and stuff and everything, about, look, it doesn't matter what color your skin is. It doesn't matter what economic, thing you come from, class you come from, whatever. If you apply yourself and you keep scratching, you can work your way to a better standard of living, etc. in this life. There's no guarantees, but for the most part, you can do it. Sometimes it's all about focus. I've been telling my son since he's little, look, from the age of 17, 24, whatever, do all the kinds of these smart things, get a job, take that money, put it away, in smart things, little in investment, some in savings, some in like a retirement thing, whatever. Save before you buy a house and don't rush into getting married and all that, because once you do all that, just the rigors of survival and the cost of living can keep you from progressing any further. And you get a lot of young people coming up who are not patient and spend their money on the wrong things. Do you really need to make some sports league and a multimillionaire who chases a ball for a living richer by buying his jersey? Couldn't you take that $100 or whatever, put it in an account somewhere? And now we'll get to Bernie Sanders. Oh, Bernie Sanders he was, day one, gonna legalize marijuana and make it so that blacks and Hispanics could open their own marijuana shops and stuff and everything, and not some corporate thing and all this. Like he's doing you a favor. Like he's doing your kids and your grandkids a favor. Now look, anybody who knows anything about the hood and all this, and one of the things always been, why ain't there no businesses there? The only businesses there are liquor stores, and they're run by Koreans or now Middle Easterners and stuff. So here we're gonna give you another business. The liquor store ain't doing enough damage to your population. We're gonna let you sell dope, but instead of foreigners or corporations selling you dope, we're gonna let you sell the dope to your own kids and your own grandkids, etc., to your neighbors in the hood. So now you can have liquor stores and dope stores in the hood. Didn't the African American community used to rail against that? At least the smart ones. See, these politicians, you can tell who they're pandering to, and it's shameless or shameful. What Bernie Sanders, he's shameless in their attitudes. They have no shame for their shameful actions. Here you got this guy. He lives in the woods. What is he, from Vermont? And his idea of he knows what the African American wants is he's going to give them weed. He knows what they want in Chicago and L.A. and they want weed. Is he trying to be like didn't LBJ say something about after he passed some stuff or something, he'll have them blankety blanks voting Democrat for 200 years or something like that? That's the way guys like Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden think. I'm smart. I'll do this. I know what they want. I'll give them this, and then they'll be voting for us for 200 years. Things of substance don't matter to any of these jackoffs. Common sense and what works and natural order of things just. And you can look at natural order of things don't matter to them because look at there with the screwed up alphabet people and everything. People can't even make up their minds whether they're a boy or girl, even if they got a penis or a vagina. And what am I? So it's no wonder they got to confuse everything else too, business and life and all these kinds of things too. And it's amazing, because even if other Democrat candidates during that debate or whatever got on Bernie Sanders about, that's the wrong thing to do, whatever. If it's a popular thing, like, look, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden was, against a lot of things Obama said, well, all of a sudden they're a team. Then Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, well, now all of a sudden they're a team. And they ask her, are you going to try and get the president to do your policies, or are you going to support him in his? Well, I told him I'll give him my best advice and this and that. So eventually you'll see them adopt each other's bullshit. So you look at things like, I have no doubt you'll see Joe Biden pandering for mob rules type stuff, just, and that's why we have a constitution. Our founding fathers are smart enough to know, what, the population might not always be the sharpest pencil in the box. So we need some sound laws and everything like this, to keep everybody grounded and not have some really bad decisions being made in the steering in the direction of the country. Here's the ground. Here's the framework. Here's the ground rules, the Constitution, Bill of Rights, and everything. And here, you citizens, go out, be good human beings, be good citizens, work, make your own way, take care of your families, prosper. Keep the government smaller, and because smaller government means less tyrants. You can have tyrants in bureaucracies. You can have tyrants in Congress. You can have a tyrant president, what have you. and they put things, in the Constitution to where, like, our rights are guaranteed, but they're, you got to have common sense. Suppose I belong to some religion and said midnight every night I got to get up and scream at the top of my lungs and bang a drum and all this and everything. Well, I'd have no right to do that if I'm disturbing your domestic tranquility there. In a way, invading your privacy with my noise and everything. Yeah, I got freedom of religion. But my freedom of religion doesn't mean I get to make your life a living hell by doing things like that. You understand? Just the same way, I got the right to own a firearm and stuff, but I can't walk into a private business that has a sign up that says no weapons allowed. We all have rights, and, we can't overrule, somebody else's right. It's in the Constitution. It's written that way. Just like they say, you got the right to free speech, but you don't have the right to lie and slander somebody and commit perjury, and you don't have the right to scream fire in a movie theater and all these types of things. There's common sense and just, but then you get the lawyers and all these politicians want to muddy things up, and it's just unreal. You got the right to protest. That don't mean you don't have the right to. That don't mean you have the right to loot and burn things and destroy property and threaten people and everything else, and disturb the peace, going through neighborhoods late at night screaming and stuff and everything like they did, or block off city blocks. And Joe Biden's big. Donald Trump needs to take responsibility for all these deaths from COVID and by the things he said and this and that. Well, guess what? You're going to talk the talk, you better walk the walk, because all you people on the left and the news media and everything like that who encouraged all the violence, didn't condemn it, you should be held responsible too. CNN, all these other people, Don Lemon. You want to hold Trump responsible because he said, you don't think a mask is really whatever he said or you think he said or didn't do. Well, then Don Lemon should be held responsible for the things like calling, the violence and all this and everything. It's their right. It's their Tea Party. It's this and that and everything. And all the countless others who encouraged the violence and looked the other way and said they're peaceful protesters. Didn't condemn it. Didn't support law enforcement to stop it. Let it go on. Went after people who defended themselves against it instead of going after the people who were perpetrating it. So we're going to start drawing lines of accountability. Let's get real about it. Not going to have a double standard. That's where judiciary and prosecutors and everything got to separate themselves from political parties and the police. As far as enforcing the law, I mean, you can support a candidate who says they're going to support the police and the enforcement of law. But as far as, only enforcing the law on one status of people, and that's you look at the left, that's what they say. They're saying wrongfully, African Americans are treated by police and the judicial system differently than white people. And I'd have to say to that. I know plenty of white people who went to jail for drugs and everything just the same as African Americans did. If anything, you look at the wealthy Hollywood people and stuff, when they got busted for drugs and all this, or the corporate CEOs who got caught doing things that are shady, really shady and crooked, and the bankers and stuff who went to some country club prisons, then yeah, I'm on board with that. Yeah, there is an unfairness when it comes to people's wealth and social status. But just the average day white guy and the average day black guy, if you're out there doing something wrong, pretty much the cops are going to treat you the same friggin' way. If you have a warrant, you're going to jail. No cop ever told some white guy with a warrant, "Yeah, you're white, I'm going to let you go." Do you understand that? So there's a lot of bullshit out there about a lot of things, and you really got to think things through and look deeper, because if you just go by the slogans and the harebrained talking heads and stuff on TV, you're never going to understand things. Joe Biden's talking about corporate welfare, subsidizing industries that are not going to do a damn bit of good against, our carbon footprint or global warming and all this type of stuff. They got to have crises. They got to have global warming. They got to have COVID. They got to have, the war on terror. They got to have this and that. All kinds of things. To make you step two and think you need them. Got to have a crisis. Social Security's going to fail. This guy, doesn't care about, the elderly and Medicare and this and that. And so you better vote for me. I want to be your demigod. We're going to tax the hell out of everybody so we can fund these programs. And hey, you know what? Tell people to be smart and prudent with their money and not to blow their money on bullshit. Take care of business first. And don't tax the shit out of them. And people can take care of themselves with their money. They don't have to give it to the government, so then the government can start some program so that the government can have some more power over us and make us in fear that if we don't step two, that program's going to fail. And when you get old and gray, you're going to be homeless and out in the fucking street. Gee, if you didn't rob me my whole life, I might have had some money in the fucking bank and not been worried about whether there's Social Security or not. I might have paid off a house I could live in my old age. Oh no, we gotta have more. What? You can't just live like. Oh, we're gonna have to have hellacious property taxes on you. We'll make you be in fear of being homeless because we're gonna tax the shit out of you because you own a home. They use taxes and crises to enrich themselves, keep themselves in power, make you live in fear, make you depend on them, so they can be a bunch of little tyrants and demigods. I mean, look at the campaign process itself. Billions of dollars go. People getting rich off elections, man. They get rich off of that shit. Advisors and managers and organizers and this and that and everything. There's people making money hand over fist for all this bullshit. All the unnecessary bullshit. Start going back to the basics. You know what? Be responsible for yourself. We're not going to tax the shit out of you. Be smart with your money. Teach kids in school. Be smart with your money. Yeah, have some kind of emergency fund for the country for when there's people in Lake Charles right now, they need help. They need help. People whose businesses have gone under or about to go under because of all these shutdowns, they need help. So as a nation, we have to have like emergency funds for that shit, for when big stuff happens and stuff. But we don't need the government to hold our hand through retirement. We don't need the government to hold our hand through medical situations and stuff and everything. Just need the government to keep scammers and con artists and stuff from ripping us off and making sure when insurance companies sell insurance, they pay up and people aren't getting gouged, whatever, stuff like that. You do need some oversight here or there, but, this big brother shit. We're going to take care of everything. We're going to create jobs with your tax money. We're going to make sure you have money coming in and when you're old and gray. Because we did everything we could to break up the family. Families used to take care of each other. No, we made that impossible to do. So now you need Social Security and Medicare and all the other shit. You do well where you can take care of your family, but we're going to tax the shit out of you so you can't. We're going to penalize you for achieving. Shame on you. All right, so I just thought I'd point that out, And these people, they're against the corporate. Here's Joe Biden. I'm going to take money and create jobs. I'm going to give it to corporations and these green jobs. I have a nice cartel, green energy cartel and oligarchy that'll block out any other kinds of competition and innovation and stuff that might upset the scales of balance and ruin our little oligarchy and not keep us in power anymore. Our green power. All right, wish you all the best out there. Some things for you to think about. And, God help us all through all this. We get back to when life was simpler. And they didn't use all this racism and, kinds of crap to divide us and socialism and all this kind of stuff. The United States of America is just fine if you get back to the basics. And use some common sense. And, these politicians, it's not like alcohol isn't bad enough ruining lives and stuff, especially in the hood and stuff. But here you go. We're gonna throw some weed and who knows what else they'll make legal in there. We'll let you do this too. We'll let you do that. Here's some crap to spend your money on instead of saving it or investing it or putting it for your kids' college education or putting it into a medical account. Here's some more crap for you to blow your hard-earned dollars on. We'll let you just and hey, you ain't got hard-earned dollars. We'll give you welfare. Give you welfare. We'll give we'll make weed available on your EBT card, and you can just go get your weed and your Twinkies and go home and get fatter and more unhealthy, and then demand that you get free medical attention. We'll do that for you. All these people, Bernie Sanders is going to make it legal to sell weed in the hood. Oh, yahoo! Are you thinking about your kids and your grandkids? And what this guy's saying? He thinks it's a positive thing to allow something that's going to be destructive to your family, to your child's well-being. He thinks that's a positive thing to get your vote. Oh my God, people, you got to start thinking for yourselves, man. You really do. You got to start questioning, what the fuck is he talking about? Anyhow, wish you all the best out there. God bless, and we'll see you on the next one.